So here we are. Got ourselves, I think and I may have done this a little bit on purpose, but we have our longest games yet to come. This game is pretty long. Some people, and this is, again, mostly on me, but I try to avoid the longer games a little bit in my mind as,
you have the things of eternity.
yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like I'm just trying to get away from that. This one's an hour and 20 minutes. So not terrible, 80 minutes total. I'm going to try and do like 2 really long ones today, or maybe 3. And then, you know, in the next 2 weeks, hopefully if I get these out, I should be done with everything. So we take a look at the lineups. Visage, Gyrocopter, Bane, Viper, Enigma against Jug, Death Prophet, Pudge, Witch Doctor, and Bristle. Easy kill here onto Enigma. With a 5-man smoke rotation coming out. First blood will be there for the Death Prophet. That will be mid. You'll have Jug over in the safe lane, Bristle in the off lane, Pudge roaming, and Witch Doctor supporting. And then for the Radiant side, you've got obviously Enigma in the off lane, Viper over mid, and then Gyro in the safe lane with Visage supporting but in the 4 and Bane in the 5. And the thing about that is obviously you see him going into a wand early, boots, and what looks to be a medallion. Get that early medallion, work with that. See what you're able to do. Obviously, First Blood is already here for the Dire side, and, well, now they're dealing with a tri-lane against this Bristleback, who's only got Quill Spray level 1, so it's not exactly too easy to survive as the Nightmare comes out. And, again, taking a lot of damage. These Quills start to stack up a little bit. You need to be careful as each time you're taking more and more and more harass. And they're continuing to chase, and this Bane does have 4 stacks on him, but they should be able to get this kill. He goes back into the trees, the rot's there, 1 more Quill Spray, and that will get the Bane. So they get at least 1. They will eventually take out the Bristleback. But at the same time, they rotate both supports here, bottom, leaving the Jug by himself against the Enigma, who, well, he's doing an okay job against. So, Jug surviving for right now under the tower, trying to just clean up these Eidolons. Has the right idea, gets a lot of farm out of that too. And cleaning up all the Eidolons when that was just used, the demonic conversion on cooldown for 25 seconds. That's Jug really starting to just dominate the lane. Having a good time. So they got the First Blood, they got the kill over bottom, killing the Bane, but still Bristleback level 1, and unless the Quills stack again quite a bit, it's going to be quite a tough lane for the Bristle. Tries to stack, the Soul Assumption comes out, mid, they'll get the kill on the Viper with rotations from the Pudge as well as the Witch Doctor. Again, this is, of course, a replay that is from back when rotating and roaming was very, very popular. Where you're basically rotating your supports, or teams would like to rotate their supports all the time. You would see it with like Bobica, who would pick like Tusk, and you'd go Tusk, Witch Doctor, or Tusk, you know, Bane or something like that. They're gonna do it again. You land the hook, and then you get the cast to come out, but still he's by his Eidolons, and they're gonna stop the clarity, which is nice because he had just used demonic conversion. They'll lose the Pudge. The Nightmare comes out onto the Witch Doctor, but they'll bring Jug over. And now if they can lock down this Enigma, that would be nice, but he's used the salve. He's gotten himself a little bit more health. The Blade Fury comes out, taking a lot of damage from these Eidolons, who are really eating into him. And with the Malefice, they'll get the kill. Cask bouncing around, but won't do enough, and it's going to be 3 kills over bottom as they take out everybody who rotated on the Enigma. And a quick question mark, well deserved.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So 5-3 early on. Still sitting just about even in terms of net worth. And you take a look at the Jug, he's still doing well, and despite the couple of kills and the assists over bottom, Enigma is behind by quite a bit. The Soul Assumption will get the kill. That's going to be really nice against this Bristleback. Top of that, they'll get the 4-minute bounty runes over bottom. And the outlook in this bottom lane for the Radiant team is quite nice. It's a Gyro without a Wisp, so we'll see how well it does do come mid-late game. Double damage on the Visage. They've got Pudge coming over, but immediately spotted and takes a right click. Not doing a hell of a lot of damage to the Pudge, but just let him know he sees him there. They had 2 supports coming over towards the mid lane, but now the Radiant will send those 2 over bottom, and they'll try and get this Bristleback again. And it comes with the homing missile, with the Grave Chill, easily done to get this kill right on top of the Bristleback. That is now the 4th time he's died. He is getting walloped in this lane. So, Radiant really taking advantage of this. Bristleback falling very far behind. He only has 8 last hits. That's less than the Enigma, who has lost Eidolons, all his Eidolons, multiple times. The Jug still sitting a level ahead of the Enigma, which is nice. He's had solo farm for the most part on this Jug. The Bristleback only level 3, though. Every time he's come into this lane, he has been attacked or ganked or something, and they're going to do it again. Bane coming in. He's got Nightmare, Brain Sap ready to go. And again, Brislow just has to sit here inside the trees, hope he survives. The Bane will look for him, though. They've got the scan. They know exactly where he is. He thinks he's safe, but that is, well, going to be a problem. Homing missile is coming through, and finally lands. Grave Chill again. Soul Assumption ready, and a dominating spree here for the Visage. 8 to 3,000 net worth lead here for the Radiant. Meanwhile, mid, Viper's doing a good job here on the Death Prophet. Hit with Viper Strike, won't die. Gets very close to dying and was lucky to have that Invis rune to get out of harm's way. Now hitting level 6, but Viper hitting level 7. They'll bring over the Pudge if they're able to hit a hook. Might be able to get the kill, but it's only a level 2. Only a level 2 Pudge. Also have the Witch Doctor, so that should bring him a stun in this mid lane with the Pudge coming in. They'll be able to get the kill with the Spirit Siphon on top of that, doing a lot of damage to the Viper. Bristleback, meanwhile, bottom gets a kill. Quill Spray's coming out. Nightmare on to this Bristleback. I don't know if they're going to get this kill. They do have the Grave Chill, but Pudge is here trying to land a hook and will land it. Bristle gets another kill, but they will end up trading, and it's a mega kill streak here for the Visage, who's got the medallion going into Tranquils. And when he picks that up, he should be pretty set in this lane. He's only level 4, but overall, he's doing really well. Got Gyrocopter, top of the net worth. They do have Black Hole ready.
I'll take that as tribute.
I'll take that.
Would like to see this Pudge hit level 6 eventually. Spirit Siphon, they walked right into the Death Prophet. The hook will hit. They've still got the Spirit Siphon on, but with this haste, unable to keep him close. They'll look for the Viper, and they'll use use Exorcism to get the kill.
Radiant's middle tower.
Push forward with this Exorcism while Witch Doctor goes down over bottom. They'll try to get the tier 1. Bristle will trade. Taking a little bit of damage from these towers, and they end up getting the Bristle back after he kills the Gyrocopter.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures
11 to
are
8.
fortified.
Game's still sitting close to even. No longer have Exorcism. The TP attempt out. Damage is pretty high. Oh, in the middle of the Nightmare animation. That one was close. Pudge denies himself. Witch Doctor will stand over mid. He needs some experience as the Death Prophet comes back from TPing back to base. And they'll throw the cask. They've got Bane coming in, so you can't really go in on this. Not that they see him, but it's still hard to go in on the Viper.
Double damage.
So despite the slow start for the Bristleback, he's got himself that Vanguard. They'll throw the Nightmare out onto the Pudge, but Bristleback is here. It's a double damage on the Bane. Brain Sap coming out. The Flat Cannon with the Homie Missile. He ends up denying himself. These quills are starting to stack up. You need to be careful with the Death Prophet coming in. And Bane's still alive. They also get the Jug over top. That's got to be Black Hole used, and it is. But 13 to 9. Bristle really starting to get out of hand here. Medallion used again, throwing these quills out. Soul Assumption doing a good chunk of damage. And the Fiend's Grip with the call down. The hook to try and save the Bristle. But, well, not gonna happen. They end up putting the Nightmare onto the Pudge, pulled off by the Witch Doctor. Homie Missile coming in, cast with them. Maledict on top of him, and actually with the hook hitting, that should be a kill. Get the Witch Doctor anyway, placing down a Sentry Ward before he dies. They'll go for the Pudge. That'll be 4 heroes dead as Death Prophet died mid to this Viper. So Radiant's side pressuring this Dire team heavily.
Dire's middle
Drums
tower
picked
is
up for the
under attack.
Gyrocopter so they can close the distance. They've been able to shut down the Bristle for the most part as he's sitting on the bottom side of Net Worth. Enigma, though, he's down there as well. He hasn't exactly had a great time. He's 2-1-2, level 9. Doesn't have Black Hole for another 100 going into the Midas. You'd think this replay was from today, but it's about a year old. By about, I really don't know the date, but it's old. Still in the 3, starting number 3 replays. So, Battle Fury for the Juggernaut to start this off. That'll help his farm significantly. They look for the hook on the Visage, who's got level 7, so he's got his familiars. You've got familiars, you've got Eidolons. Things are looking alright. They'll go for the Bristleback. Fiend's Grip used. They've got him under the call down. And they'll be able to get the kill once again, as it's 18 to 10, 2,000 net worth lead for the Radiant, and really just continuing to stabilize in this area of the game and not allow for these heroes on the Dire side to stay in their lane too long. Can't get too comfortable at the moment. And, well, looking with the Spirit Siphon, I don't know if this is the greatest idea. Try to follow it up with a hook, but again, you don't have Dismember. Seems a bit foolish to try and go for this down by 2 levels as well. Bane comes over. He doesn't have Fiend's Grip. They look over mid to find this Witch Doctor way far in no man's land. Midas almost here. And the Battle Fury is finished for the Jug. Meanwhile, bottom call down used again. This time, Bristleback surviving. They'll bring the Pudge over, miss the hook on the Bane. And Bane doesn't have enough mana for Nightmare at the moment, but he does have 4 or 5 charges on this wand, and he is really taking them for a ride. He should be able to just use it and then Nightmare, but he actually uses it and then Brain Saps. That's going to keep him alive a little longer, but if these quills keep stacking up, he'll find himself dead anyway. But it is making a lot of space. However, they lose the Enigma. There's the Rot. Jug goes down over top as this is a long chase for a Bane. A lot of space made up. They'll look for the Death Prophet, who's got Exorcism as well as the Spirit Siphon, but the Soul Assumption gets the kill. And now it's going to be another dead, as they should lose this this Witch Doctor as well. So, stack them up. These kills are coming in. And when it rains, it pours on the dire side. Radiant really taking advantage. Their kills coming in bunches. So, hit that point in the game where everybody's got their ulti. Everybody's just should be a level 7 or higher. Nobody's really been shut down like that. Summoning the familiars. They've got Bristleback locked down again. Soul Assumption coming out, or Gravechill coming out, holding the Soul Assumption for now, getting the kill. And another one dead on the Dire. But, oh, they've got the Dismember, and I believe that's over top while they look for this Viper. Blade Fury coming in, and he has Hook. I think they're trying to save the last hit here for the Jug, and they do a good job of holding out for him. And grabbing him that kill. Continuing to farm here, going into the Mantis style, so, you know, when you're able to save the last hits like that, and Jug's able to farm quite a bit, and he's found himself top of the net worth. Enigma going straight BKB here, picking up this Midas.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Nightmare through onto the Jug.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
They looking to smoke here? No. Got Helmet of the Dominator on the Visage, going for Axe. He's a 4-position Visage, so to have this amount of farm on him is quite nice. He's the off-lane Enigma, but he was shut down in that lane, has gotten the Midas, and will try to recover as best he can. Would probably like to use that Exorcism with the Arcane Rune. They need to find the right moment to fight with that. They don't have Omni Slash for 20 seconds, but Jug is nearby if they want to go for mid. Taking shots here from the Viper, again, who's 3 levels ahead of this Death Prophet, who's really struggled. But the hook comes out under the tower, and now the Maledict with the ulti coming through from the Witch Doctor. And that'll be a kill here for the Dire side, and Exorcism committed. Bristle just chasing into the tier 1. Malefice, Midnight Pulse laid down. Soul Assumption thrown, and now the Gyros come over with the call down, which will hit 2 of these heroes. They've got the homing missile flying in onto the Death Prophet. But the Healing Ward doing the best it can to keep the Death Prophet alive, who's finally picked up the Yules. And again, they might be able to just reinitiate here and continue to try for this tier 1 tower, but they need to play it carefully. The Fiend's Grip comes out, the hook back towards the Dire side, making this a harder kill to get, and they'll go right for the Gyrocopter. Omni Slash comes in, Black Hole will be on the 2. So, get them low. Midnight Pulse doing a lot of damage to the Bristleback, but it won't get the kill. They've lost 3 already. Looks like they're going to lose a 4th here. As Bane goes down, Soul Assumption thrown at the Jug. But again, it's 4 kills here for the Dire side, losing nothing, and they get a tier 1 tower mid.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mine.
So Pipe finished for the Bristle. He's going a utility build with that Pipe picked up. 4 staff for the Pudge. Sometimes we see Pudges go for, say, Rod of Atos, set up the hooks a little bit better. But the 4 staff is good too. Get him away from the Viper.
Dire's middle tower.
And they have some good lockdown here with the cask as well as the dismember.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Or, well, working lockdown. They've been, you know, it's unreliable on the hook, but they've been working with the cask as well to really do quite a bit of damage. There's a lot more lockdown here, of course, on the Radiant, but from what we've been seeing from the Dire, it's been a lot nicer for them. As you see there, just walk up, dismember, and you've got a kill. 11 stacks of Flesh Heap. It's gonna be a tanky Pudge. Manta picked up for the Jug, who's farming exceedingly well. Visage going for the Ags, but we'll see how long it takes for him to get it. They're really starting to close in on his position. And they will spot him. He's got a full shot in the Soul Assumption. Omni Slash comes out with the hook. But the Nightmare there saves him for a second longer. And now they'll look for the Bane. The Viper Strike thrown onto the Bristleback. They've got the Nether Toxin. That really does a lot to a couple of the heroes on this Dire side.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But they're unable to get the kill. They lose the Bane. Hook. Oh. That looks like that hit the Enigma first.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
It's gone from a 4,000 net worth lead for the Radiant to a 6,000 net worth lead for the Dire. They've really upped the ante here
Radiant's top
with
tower
Death
is
Prophet
under attack.
having this Solar Crest as well as the Medallion going into the Aeon Disc. So very tanky. Has you know, a little bit of help here with the Yules, and then of course you got the tankiness of the Bristleback as long as he's not standing in the Nether Toxin. And Pudge too. 13 stacks of Flesh Heap.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
They have a smoke. They could go after Roche. They do have Exorcism. And the Solar Crest. It would be a very quick Roche if they want to use it. But they're being conservative and they're going to stick with just right-clicking. They should at least try to pop this and put the Solar Crest on them if they want to do it a little faster. So now the Aegis on top of it all, going the way of the Dire. They did smoke up here on the Radiant end, and, well, they were looking towards bottom to get the Bristleback, but right behind them and tailing them is this Dire team. And they might even turn as they spot these heroes. The smoke's broken. Enigma looking for a way in to throw a black hole, but he's going to move back as the Omni Slash comes through on a couple of these heroes, not doing a lot of damage. But again, the cask bouncing around. They've got the ulti coming up from the Witch Doctor, who's going to be immediately cleaned up by the Gyrocopter. The cask still bouncing around. They'll use Exorcism, but this is defensively. He hasn't gone back in yet. The Dismember comes out, and it's ripped apart is the Pudge. Get a little overexcited on the Dire side. They lose a couple of heroes. They'll lose their supports. And now the Black Hole. That's going to land onto 3. The Exorcism or not, it's not going to matter. The damage coming up from the Viper as well as the Black Hole is going to be enough. The Midnight Pulse is also laid down, or at least it looked like it. They'll get the kill on the Death Prophet as well as the Bristleback. They'll take out the Enigma after he's used that Black Hole. A nice Manta dodge there to get away, but Gyro right on his tail and should be able to finish him up. That's going to be the Aegis at least. We'll see if they can get themselves a second. Spin, the TP, but the damage, not enough.
Dire's top tower
And
is
Jug
under attack.
sent packing. They did technically get the team wipe, but the second life was there on the Jug, so well, not everything just yet for the Radiant, but a very, very good fight there from the Dire, who were the ones getting got on from behind, and it was a great black hole from the Enigma to land on 3.
I'll take that.
Double damage top. Might want a micro. Got the Fiend's Grip on the Pudge. Double damage picked up. He's going to be broken, but of course he's got that Force Staff, so able to get away easily.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Cut into the net worth advantage that the Dire have, but at the same time, it's Jug still farming really well. He's going into the Silver Edge. Can break the passive of this Viper.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As well as the Visage.
Dire's
And he's going to
top
farm
tower
this up
is under
relatively
attack.
quick. He hasn't exactly been slowed down too much. And meanwhile, bottom, they're pushing in on the Dire end, and they need to be careful as they try to take this fight over bottom. They've got Familiars coming in, Bane and Viper. With a Centaur coming over, Exorcism will be preemptively popped. Now the Enigma coming over, but Bane being chased by the Bristle, had the Blade Mail for a moment. They'll break this Death Prophet. The Euls comes out, but that sets up for Enigma to BKB. Okay. I don't understand that because he doesn't have Black Hole and he's probably just going to be dead here. The Malefice comes in. Is that even going to be enough? He'll chase inside the base. They'll tickle the Death Prophet. They just need one more Quill Spray to get the kill. But this has put Bristle in really far and now needs to run from Familiars, Creeps, Visage, and Viper. The Blade Mail is popped. He'll kill the Familiars with it and they'll hook him away. He does end up surviving. Meanwhile, Jug's just pushing in bottom, and they take the tier 3. And he's got enough for the Silver Edge. Ag's picked up from the Visage.
I'll take that as tribute.
Radiant's bottom
Now he's
tower
got 3
is under
Familiars
attack.
and a Catapult. We'll see if he tries to split push at all. 30 minutes in, just about. 25, 29, 8,000 net worth lead here for the Dire, doing really well. Pudge going for an Aether Lens. We'll see if he picks up like an Ags after that. Silver Edge here for the Jug.
Under attack.
Again, not many passives to cut out from the Radiant side, but I guess. Bristle taking a lot of damage. Fiend's Grip called down. Courier coming in. I mean, we'll get him the Crimson Guard, but he's dead. They need to watch that Courier as it almost gets shot down by the Gyrocopter. Hook onto the Witch Doctor, trying to keep him alive, but here come the Familiars. The damage is heavy. Woo!
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
From the core of the universe, a treasure. Haste.
Radiant's top barracks are under
Sending the
attack.
Viper top. Look at the Jug. Just try to take out this Rax. They'll use the Omni Slash, mitigated by the Gyro. Not going to be enough to save the Viper. Jug just going in deep. And now needs to get out. They have Black Hole, but they won't catch him. Still a lead here for the Dire, but seems very frail, this lead. You could go back towards the Radiant side at any moment. One lost fight, and it could be even. Send the Visage over. Familiar's hitting away. The Blade Mail is going to be used, and now they got the Silver Edge. They'll break this Bane, but what's it going to be worth? The BKB is going to be popped, setting up for the Black Hole. That's going to land on a 2. Bristleback still over there, trying to kill the Bane. Finally, the Black Hole ends. They don't do a lot of damage onto the Death Prophet or the Jug, so they'll start to chase. The buyback will be there from the Bane. They'll continue to give chase on the Dire side now. Hook comes out onto the Bane, who just came in. They'll kill the Gyrocopter. Behind them is this Visage. The Yules gets used as well as the Blade Mail. They'll take out the Visage. And Bane getting that Brain Sap out once again. And the buyback used from the Visage to try and hold. But Dire up 10,000 net worth. The blink forward. Exorcism with the silence onto the Bane. Crypt Swarm, Hook, landing it, getting the kill. Meanwhile, Soul Assumption, Grave Chill onto the Bristleback, continuing to chase. They've broken him in the Nether Toxin, doing a lot of damage. Blade Mail or not, they'll get the kill. So buybacks used.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
Still 10,000 net worth lead for the Dire.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack. Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
So Jug, 4,300 gold, almost level 25 already. Ooh, Hook hitting the Visage. They'll have the Dismember right on top of him. The Kess is going to be bouncing around as well as the Silence. So now Gyro as well as the Visage are going to be in a lot of trouble to get the homing missile onto the Pudge. They clean up the Visage. Familiars come back. But need to get them out of there and micro them away. Meanwhile, again, Jug just continuing to push. Farming up, going bottom, taking a tier 2 tower. Dire have been pressuring really well. They've been on the other side of the river since they've taken the lead.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Again, they'll go towards this top Rax. Shrine was taken by the Jug. Catapults moving in. He did damage here to the ranged Rax, but is now called the Shrine. I don't know why. Or everything's confusing me because it's melee Rax that regens. This says melee Rax. Okay, I'm just confused. Yeah, what are you doing, game? Why are you broken?
I'll take that as tribute.
31-32, 15,000 net worth lead here for the Dire. Scan comes out, but that's just on an illusion. I think they're going towards Roshan. That's going to cause them to smoke and come over. So actually you get tricked by their own scan. They will find their way into the hands of the Dire. And the smoke will end up breaking, but they've got the Shadow Wind and the Gyrocopter. They'll throw the dust. They'll find the Jug. They'll get the Fiend Strip with the Black Hole. The Hook comes out. Not enough. That was almost a great save. They should be able to get the Bristle back on top of this with the break. And they will. Exorcism gets used, but it definitely could have been held here. Because I don't think they're looking to... They should be looking to fight down the Bristle as well as the Jug. Cast. And Hook hits the Death Prophet. BKB forced out again on the Enigma.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Heart picked up here for the Death Prophet. Harder to kill. Still without the jug or the bristleback. It
Dire's
seems
top
so
tower
long
is
without
under
them.
attack.
Radiant doing a good job holding, though. 9,000 net worth lead. It was 16,000. So,
I mean, if you're the Radiant, you are gaining confidence right now. Go into Roche. Let's see, can the Radiant take this from them? The Sentry Ward is there for the Dire. They'll try to get in, but the Age is going to be picked up by the Jug. This is something they needed to try and secure the finish on this game if they can. Up by so much. Don't want to throw it away. They smoke. Inside the base. Should notice this, as well as the fact that it breaks open. They'll use the Exorcism. Silence comes down to the Visage. BKB, they've got the Black Hole to blink in. There it is! 3-man Black Hole again every single time he's landed them. And the Omnislash comes out, so Jug will hold on to his life for a little bit longer, but won't get the Enigma. They get the kill on the Death Prophet as well as the Bristle, so all your damage is basically gone. And again, this Aegis. This is the second time the Aegis has caused the Dire to get a little too confident. And they lose the fight off the Aegis. They're going to lose this Jug again. Dismember, Force Staff forward. He's got the Healing Ward right on top of him. They're trying to get the kill. Viper continuing to chase, but now they've lost the Gyrocopter. Pudge ends up denying himself. They'll kill the Bane. 4 heroes dead. Jug surviving. And he picks up a regen. So again, the Dire, they take Roche and, well, they go in a bit too far. Still 10,000 net worth lead, but again, you take a look at this graph and where it was and where it is, and especially with the experience that Radiant are getting. Yes, the Jug is kind of out of control right now, but obviously you've shown that you can handle him, so you should feel confident as this game continues to progress. Gyrocopter going into a BKB, when he has that, he should be pretty happy with where he stands. Again, it just, without this Aegis, I don't think the Dire are going to push in too heavily. It gives you a moment to farm. The Black Holes have been on point going into an Octarine Core for the Enigma now. It's got extra Eidolon damage, and I would expect the Radiant to maybe try to push a little bit if they can. If they find another fight like that, where they've still got the Visage as well as the Enigma up, use these Eidolons, use these Familiars, and push. Push as much as you can. Start to take these outer towers and, you know, finish them up. So you can make the Dire feel uncomfortable despite having a 10,000 plus lead. 10,000 net worth plus lead. Haste Rune coming up over towards top. And Jug. He's got 4,700 gold. We'll see what he goes for. He's picked up the Butterfly. Could still replace this Stout Shield, of course. BKB, there it is, finished for the Gyrocopter. Enigma's got that Octarine Core finished with 1,500 gold on top of that. This Midas has really helped him from the slow start he had earlier. He really wasn't finding really any farm. And now he's got himself second in the net worth. In front of his Gyro, in front of his Viper. The Viper who is now behind the 4 position Visage, who's been playing out of his gourd and going into an AC. It's having that 4 position that kind of transitions into a core that's really helped the Radiant. Their damage has been so good. And tanking the gank here for Radiant, I think that's okay. I think that's okay that Bane tanks that. So Scotty picked up for the Jug. Has replaced that Stout Shield, of course. And again, Dire tried a high ground. We'll see how the Radiant are able to pull it. It's going to be a split push coming out from the Dire side, but the damage comes in. There's the BKB. 3-man black hole again. With the BKB, there's no way he's going to be stopped. They've also got the Fiend's Grip here onto the Witch Doctor. They'll get the kill onto the Pudge. They'll look for more. Witch Doctor ends up being the second one who falls on the Dire side. They'll ball back on the Bane a little bit earlier. The Omni Slash bouncing around, but it's only going to get the Bane. So once again, he tanks the damage coming out from the Jug. They'll kill up the Death Prophet. That's going to be 3 heroes dead on the Dire side. Bristle looking to re-engage and make sure that they don't kill the Jug. With a couple of heroes low on the Radiant side, they don't want to push out too far. And the Dire, again, going for this high ground, end up losing this fight. They just cannot seem to make it up these stairs. That is the 3rd time they have tried to come in on the high ground. And the 3rd time they have failed to do so. And again, I think that does stem from the fact that you've got 4 damage dealers here. Or, well, 3. You've got the Visage, the Gyro, and the Viper, and the control that's coming through from the Enigma. You know, would you like to have gotten this BKB a little bit later and have a longer duration on it? Yeah, of course. But 5 seconds with the follow-up that's coming from his team is certainly more than enough. Next Roche is Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard. So we gotta see what's coming, as Dire have gotten the previous 2. So 40 to 34. And still with a 13,000 net worth lead, but at the same time, the net worth at this point in time does not exactly seem so scary for the Radiant. Fiend's Grip coming through, the hook comes out, saving the Jug for the moment, but he's still under the hold of Fiend's Grip. Black Hole on the Pudge, they'll take the Witch Doctor, and this is going to be 3 more. The Radiant racking them up and holding the Dire away time after time after time, and this time after time. It's 4 times in a row that they are just pushing back the Dire squad with no answer. No answer at the moment. The Radiant will only be getting stronger as they even up this net worth. I think there's more for the Viper to get, as he's actually gone into the hood. He'll go Ghost Scepter next. We'll see what he does after that. Silver Edge for the Gyrocopter, so another source of break here. And Visage AC coming in. But now it's their time to push. The buybacks here from the Dire, from both the Jug as well as the Pudge. And that was kind of all they were looking for. You pull a buyback out and you're happy. But the Nightmare threw onto the Death Prophet after the Euls was used on Visage, who will be able to TP out. Good control from the Visage to micro these familiars and lock down these Dire heroes. Gives up 100 gold, but will resummon them. And we'll take the 125 from the catapult. MKB, so it doesn't finish the Silver Edge, which is a bit surprising. It's not exactly necessary. It's good here against the Jug, who's got this butterfly. But having that Silver Edge too, you know, to get that break, having another source of break isn't going to be all too bad. And the best part right now, at least for the Radiant in these fights, is that they're starting to converge on these stairs. Nether Toxin is certainly big enough to cover the majority space. So they get the break on a couple of these heroes. And the Omni Slash comes out of the Bane. They'll get the kill. That's going to be Omni Slash eaten here so far. That's another Black Hole landing onto two of these heroes. That will take out the Bristleback. Looking for more. Yules is used on the Death Prophet. They've already used Omni Slash, so Jug can't really get back in there. They'll get the kill. That's going to be two heroes dead on the side of the Dire, none of which bought back. But now, Gyro right there for them. He gets hooked by the Pudge. Malefice comes out. Doesn't have the Refresher Orb yet. They need to try and get this damage out to maybe make the Pudge pay for buying back, but he will be able to blink out. And he does escape, but at the same time, these buybacks were used. 5,000 net worth. This is what was a 15,000 net worth advantage. Now down to 5, and the Radiant really pulling it back.
Dire's bottom
Radiant's
tower
edge will
is
never
under
die.
attack.
Double damage.
AC finished for the Visage. But Roche goes to the Jug. Refresher Shard sitting there. He'll pick it all up. And you get the third Roche, so all three so far have gone the Dire's way. Almost, again, with that Aegis, it puts the Radiant on a kind of, you know, sit back and watch area here. And look at this push coming in from these Eidolons, doing that extra damage, pushing forward. It'll be a lot of farm given up, though, to this Death Prophet, who's given the Refresher Shard. I don't exactly agree with that, though. Why not give the Refresher Shard to the Jug, who could Omni Slash twice, who's been doing the bulk of the damage here? I would rather see the Omni Slash come out twice than the Exorcism that has barely gone full duration in these previous fights. So, we'll have to see if the Radiant can hold again. It's now a 10,000 net worth lead again. The Dire are setting up to try and fight. They do have this Aegis, so they want to at least try and get in here. Level 25 for the Jug. +1 Omni Slash duration. Almost level 25 for the Death Prophet. Let's take a look at the levels here. 25 for the Visage, who had the 40 extra XP gain, who's now got 4 familiars. The familiar movement speed. Gyro, 3 homing missile charges. Bane, only level 20, but I'd say that he's still a support, so, you know, gets to that level 25, and that could be a problem if he finds his positioning to be right with these Fiend's Grip durations. They haven't exactly tried to stop the Bane from throwing the Fiend's Grip. They've been more trying to pull the Fiend's Grip hero away. So let's see what they can do. Dire's still looking for an opening to get in here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Familiar is working on bottom. Call down used. Eidolon's helping to push out. Kind of a stalemate at the moment. Neither team looking to just jump in just yet. So back to the high ground. Now the Malefice with the Midnight Pulse. Needs to be a little bit careful. Nether Toxin pushing away these creeps. And they've regained this net worth lead that they had earlier in the game. Hook comes through. That'll hit onto a ranged creep only, but onto the high ground he'll go. They continue to push in. 50-minute mark. But at the same time these creeps pushing in, the Radiant are continuing to farm them up and trying to just turtle and hold, looking for that opportunity, possibly after the Aegis expires, which doesn't have a lot of time left on it. So Jug has done nothing here so far, and I would say this is kind of hurting him. There it is. Aegis has expired. So now, do you wait for the next Roche, or do you fight? You've got a 15,000 net worth lead, but now you need to take advantage of it. Fiend's Grip onto the Bristleback. Midnight Pulse laid down. They'll bring a bunch of familiars over. They're throwing the call down, pushing the Bristleback back, but now they look after the Jug, who will get invis with the Silver Edge. Manta's away, and then Silver Edges. But again, now they look over at the Bristleback, who pops the Blade Mail. Homing missiles will start to stack up on top of him. No kills yet, but again, pushing in. BKB will be used by the Enigma, but it's only a 5-second duration. He blinks forward, looks for the black hole. He's actually not BKB'd anymore. They look for the Bristleback, who gets pulled out with the hook. The Dismember comes through, and oh no! The second black hole. Oh boy. They still get the Witch Doctor. They'll get the Pudge. They'll look for more Bristleback. They're right on top of him. The Familiars will stun him up. They should have the damage to get the kill, but he's inside the trees. A hard spot to really break through in. Soul Assumption out, as with the Spirit Siphon, he'll chase onto the Gyrocopter. It finally breaks. The leash breaks, and he's trying to walk away, juking this Death Prophet. Meanwhile, back over bottom, they look for the Jug. They'll get the kill. He's dead for 2 minutes. He's got buyback. The Nightmare onto the Bristleback once again, who pops the Blade Mail. Spraying those quills out. Brave Chill comes out. Courier will end up dying. The Familiar's dropping down again. They're controlling him. He's pretty tanky, but he doesn't have a team behind him anymore. Gyrocopter was able to escape the grasp with the Death Prophet, but still, going into the base, hit with the Malefice. They don't have Black Hole for another 50 seconds as both were used. One was kind of botched, and they'll continue to push him back. Blade Mail pop to one more time. I like to get the Viper in here to break this Bristleback, but I thought if the Gyrocopter had the Silver Edge there, he could have just hit at the Bristleback and gotten the break that way, but they're pushing back the Death Prophet, looking for this Bristleback. They've got the Fiend's Grip. They'll get the kill. After all that time, they finally kill him. Eidolons are taking care of top, which is nice, and everybody alive here for the Radiant after a long, drawn-out fight. Just continuing this replay, cast. It's a 12,000 net worth lead right now for the Dire still, although the Radiant have looked to be the stronger team for bulk of this game. They've got the Ags on the Enigma, and the Familiars will drop down. They're trying to take a tier 3 homing missile thrown and the Witch Doctor, but nothing more to come out from it. This is a minute 45 seconds still till Roche is back up. Again, this game is coming down to buybacks and holds, and you wonder at least what the Dire can do to break the high ground. They have been unable to do so since they got the tier 3 over top and these racks through a split push from the Jug. They did finally get the tier 3 mid, but it costs so much to do so, to get one more tower, despite the Radiant being down 11,000 net worth. And it does make you wonder, do they have the ability to tighten this up and win this game? So smoke comes out. Let's see what they can do. Cask was used from the Witch Doctor, who now has to back up. They've got the Jug, but the smoke's going to be broken. He goes after towards the Ancients. Radiant coming in. They'll use the dust. It will not land here on the Jug, who's able to walk away. So the pressure coming out from the Radiant, forcing them back. They will TP backwards to make sure that they could clean up these lanes. Bane going down again, eating the shot. And he's okay with dying. The Familiars will go down. They do have the ability to resummon them, and that's 4 Familiars here for the Visage. And, you know, Bane tanking the gank is really, well, fine with them. And I know I keep using that term, but it's true. He is the one who is happy to go down if need be. And they are starting to do a bit of chunk damage here to the Death Prophet. But without the Bane, they don't have Fiend's Grip. He might be forced to buy back. The hook actually comes out onto the Viper. They've got the Dismember to follow that up. The Maledict comes up from the Witch Doctor, but it's not going to be able to get the kill. The Black Hole comes through. That's going to be on 2 of these heroes, but it won't matter. Gyro and Enigma go down to the Omni Slash that comes through from the Jug and the backup damage that they have. 4 heroes buy back. They lose 3 in that fight, lose the Bane beforehand. BKB is going to be popped. They get the Black Hole. That's going to be on to 2, but they'll pull out the Bristleback once again. They'll kill the Jug. He's got buyback. Dead for 100 seconds. Blade Mail will get popped. They'll continue to chase. They need to be careful because the buybacks were used on 80% of the squad. They'll look at the Witch Doctor, and he will die. Again, he's got buyback. This Bristle holding on to 8,000 gold. Black Hole on the high ground, but again, Pudge every single time has been here to pull them back. You get caught in a Nightmare, you get caught in a Fiend's Grip, I will make sure you stay alive. The break, though, from the Nether Toxin coming out onto multiple heroes here, and they need to be careful because the Pudge goes to the low ground, but he doesn't get out of harm's way. Now, Bane needs to run away. The Close Spray comes out. They'll send the Death Prophet over. It's 2 heroes alive here for the Dire side. Silence onto the Enigma as well as the Shivas. BKB into the TP out. Wise move. Nightmare again onto the Bane, from the Bane to the Bristleback. Oh, gets spotted. There's the Yules. Try to TP out. But Bane, who just bought back, is in a lot of trouble. I've got the stun. Another stun coming in, but the Crypt Swarm will finally finish off the Bane. Dead for 88 after buying back. So the Radiant now on their heels. As this game is coming really down to the wire. Who was the 4 on Radiant? Visage was, but he played so well that he started building core items to start. He was in the 4, and actually Enigma was off lane, and he didn't have a good start, but Enigma then had the Midas and had a Midas and then recovered pretty well. But transitioning into the core, transitioning into another core here for Visage was very important to at least the Radiant holding for now. They've been down 10 to 20,000 for the last 20 minutes or so. I mean, look at this, 10 to 20,000. He jumped up over to 8,000 for a moment, but they've had the experience lead for a while too. And Blade Mail, but they find Bristle. I don't know what he's doing there. He's got buyback, but Roche is up, no Bristle back. That's rough to deal with. The Enigma's been hitting really good black holes. He missed one, and the last one kind of wasn't amazing, but for the most part, keeping them in this game with, you know, hitting 2 3-man black holes quite a bit. This will be their first Aegis. And it's going to be Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard. I forgot what I said about 4th or 5th Roche. That it should give something else. Oh yeah, I remember what I said. I said 4th Roche should turn Aegis into a Moonshard style consumed item. So when it doesn't take up an item slot. Because I feel like 4th Roche, if it's happening, is so far into the game that it's almost hard to figure out who to give it to. So Radiant are now the ones who've got the Aegis for the first time. And no buybacks were used from the Dire. Split this up by team. You see that Radiant all are waiting on buybacks, except for the Visage, who's just short on cash. But it has been really tough for the Radiant to push out. They've been holding, but they haven't exactly had the opportunity to push out here. And they haven't forced the buybacks of the Dire. So back again over mid, but the Crypt Swarm should give them an idea of where they're sitting on this on the Radiant side of the map for the Dire. Still at 19,000 net worth. Dire looking for an opportunity here, and Death Prophet might be that one. They're going to continue to try and move on in. They've got the Homing Missile as well as the Midnight Pulse. Black Hole comes out. It's not going to use the BKB, but the Omnisage on top of that as well as the hook. The ulti coming out from the Witch Doctor doing a lot of damage here as the Omnisage bounces around. BKB is going to be popped by the Gyro, who's got himself this Aegis. The Black Hole is going to be throwing that hands on 2 heroes. That's on the Bristleback as well as the Pudge doing a lot of damage here as the Viper taking out the Bristleback, who's got 99 seconds until he's back alive. He's got buyback. Jug goes down, and they lose just the Visage. Just the Visage. They take the Jug, they take the Bristle. Creeps pushing in over top, doing a bit of damage here to the tier 3, but not anything the Radiant can't take care of. But again, another fight here from the Radiant looking really good. The question is, if you could force the buybacks, that will make the Dire feel uncomfortable, as they have been pressuring past the river for a while now. Still have this Aegis too. Did not use him in that last engagement. I'm surprised the Enigma didn't die. Very close to going down there. They find the Bane again. He has died 17 times, but all for the greater good. forced to use that Yule is not a big deal, honestly. The Visage is a big part of their push, so not having him is crucial.
In the sense where they can't force these buybacks and push out afterwards.
And the good thing from the Dire, too, is they're keeping the pressure on. The break on the Death Prophet. Everybody back alive for the Dire once again. Hook. Not finding a home here. Throwing all those homing missiles out. Again, this has kind of become a stalemate. And the Aegis has been reclaimed. They've got Hex now on the Death Prophet. They want to break down the wall that is the Radiant side, who have smoked to try and get out of the base. They don't wrap around. They blink in. They've got the Black Hole on two of these heroes, but he didn't use his BKB, so all they got to do is throw a cast, but the Odin comes out. There's the BKB with the Black Hole coming up to follow it up. They get the kill onto the Pudge as well as the Jug, but they lose the Bane once again. The Odin comes through from the Witch Doctor to get themselves the kill onto both the Bane as well as the Enigma. They both have buyback. They look over the Bristleback, who's all by himself. He'll die. Pudge bought back in that whole exchange, and they do lose 2 on the Radiant side while they take out 4, and buybacks come out from the Enigma as well as the Pudge. There's 2 black holes. Might have been able to put it in a better spot, but knew he had to kind of rush. Didn't use the BKB in the first one. And that made me think that cast could have been a possibility, unless it was on cooldown. I didn't quite see. But it seemed like it could have been a different fight had that been stopped immediately. So let's see.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
67 minutes in here. 11,000 net worth lead. Finally going for a tier 2 over top.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
My thanks.
Dire are scanning.
Visage going for the Bloodthorn. Almost has it. Does he have buyback? Yeah, but he's got no surplus. Okay. I don't understand. They get the tier 2, but they don't push out afterwards. They should be trying to push here with Eidolons and Familiars. Make the Dire uncomfortable and move, but they haven't exactly done that at any point. Roche is up. We'll see. Pudge does have that axe. And oh, long Roche. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. Don't run them away. Put them up in the trees. Make it harder for them to get got like that, but go for this tower. Push out like that every single time. You took Eidolons for a reason. Cooldown was used. They've got the silence through onto the gyrocopter. He uses the BKB, but he's low. He needs to be careful to blink forward with the dismember coming out through the BKB. They've got him silenced up, and they'll continue to move on forward. But again, the Witch Doctor ult doing a lot of damage here. Look at this Witch Doctor cleaning heroes up. There's the Hex coming through onto the Viper. 2 heroes gone. They do have buyback. Every single time it feels like this Witch Doctor has not been focused, and his ult has been. I want to see his damage at the end of the game. Omni Slash coming through. Gyrocopter in trouble. Bane, he buffed back, as did Viper, but now Jug, where are you? Guiona, where's your team? And there's the black hole onto the Witch Doctor, and then they'll look as the second black hole is placed onto the Death Prophet. 4 heroes down here on the Dire side. So now the buybacks come out from the Dire, and that's important because this is the first time they've been able to force buybacks in like 20 minutes or so. And with Roche up soon enough, it puts that next Aegis at a very important stake. You want to have someone like the Viper who bought back in the previous fight to get that Aegis. You want to have the Jug who bought back in that previous fight to have that Aegis. This is going to be the 5th Roche, and we'll see who's able to get it. These Visage Familiars shouldn't be screwing with the Bristleback. It should be taking this tower and pushing.
Illusion.
This game is even for the first time in, well, an hour. Have familiars, have Eidolons, push this out. You took the Eidolon damage and demonic conversion Eidolons +8 for a reason. And I think you should be using that. I know it's farm fodder. I know the Jug has a Battle Fury. But if you can have them pushing while he's fighting or something, I just don't, I don't know. Roche is up.
Dire are
The
scanning.
Roche is up. The Dire are waiting for the Radiant. They're trying to set a trap here. They TP the Bristle over bottom, and they spot this. So he doesn't have TP for 27 seconds and would have to walk all the way over to this fight. They smoke up. If they could get in the Roche pit or find themselves wrapping around, that would be a good spot to sit in. There's the ward. They spot the Bane who's coming over, and if they use the hook, that they'll know they're there. They actually use the silence, and now you know the Death Prophet's there and the Pudge is there. But creeps are pushing in over bottom, and that's going to force them back. Forcing them back has put Jug into the pit. But again, do they have a smoke here to try and get out once again? No, but they have the vision here. Great vision. Good ward place there to spot them like this. I mean, they know Jug's in the pit. They'll refresh all those familiars. Call downs used as well as the BKB, but this is the BKB used early inside this fight. They push them back far enough. Can they take this Roche quickly enough? They think about going into the pit for a second. But they're getting closed in on by these Dire heroes.
Thank you, my beauties.
Fiend's Grip comes through. Midnight Pulse on top. Bristle trying to make space. Roche is open. Dire could get the Aegis right now while these Radiant heroes are taking up a lot of their time with the Bristleback. Bane was nightmared for a moment, and they'll do a lot of damage here as the broken Bristle can do nothing about it. And the Witch Doctor is dead too. The Witch Doctor who had been doing so much damage to these Radiant heroes, and now the TP away from the Gyrocopter, but the Fiend's Grip comes out from the Death Prophet. Meanwhile, over mid, Jug has grabbed himself, the range racks, but giving away his life. And he gives away his life with no buyback. Oh, God. Dire, all this hard work, and now the lead is in the hands of the Radiant for the first time in over an hour. Bristle's been spotted throwing his quills out. The familiars will refresh themselves. Got creeps pushing in. Gold Sitch is just a lot of gold for everybody. Except for Bane. 75-minute game, only 6,000 net worth. Feels bad, man. Got the Fiend's Grip duration there, which is nice. If you can keep it on. Fifth Roche goes the way of the Radiant, Aegis Cheese, and Refresher Shard. And his Refresher Shard picked up for the Enigma, so we'll have 3 black holes coming into this next engagement. Aegis for the Gyrocopter. Ooh, put the MKB... Yeah, okay, that's the better choice there, dude. Bloodthorn for the Viper soon. Nullifier picked up by the Visage. Buybacks. 2 for the Dire. 3 for the Radiant. Necroba for the Death Prophet. Or, well, is he going to buy out on it? He realized he didn't have the surplus to do so, so I think he sold it. Are getting pretty expensive. Jug doesn't have his for only 55 more seconds. They didn't really take advantage of that on the Radiant side. Both teams kind of scared to push here. Over 100 kills in this game. Over 110 kills in this game.
I know how to handle such power.
Pushing from both sides has not been ideal. When they have 2 pushing heroes here on the Radiant that can do quite a bit with familiars and Eidolons. And I keep reiterating that point because we are yet to see that kind of push. Right now, everybody's over bottom here for the Radiant. Have your Eidolons push in with familiars. Force them to come back. Everybody's just about 6-slotted. Creep fodder is not going to matter as much now. Here's the Eidolons pushing. They finally have some Eidolons coming in here. They'll send the Gyro back once again. They'll push through mid, but Gyro's got the Aegis. You'd like to have him with the team. But again, this is the first time that the Dire have really been on the defensive like this. The last time they bought back and the Radiant just left.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Look at how quickly you take these towers.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
X coming through. They've got the Bristle coming in. And now let's see what they're able to do. The Black Hole comes out onto the Bristleback, but he's going to be hooked. He's gripped through onto the Jug. This is the extra duration one. And they're able to get the kill on the Jug. He's going to be dead for 100 seconds. He'll buy back immediately. They'll also take out the Witch Doctor. He's going to buy back too. The Spirit Siphon on a couple of these heroes. They'll get the Hex onto the Enigma. And now the call down comes through onto both the Death Prophet as well as the Bristleback as they've got the Hex on to the Enigma. But the BKB is going to be popped by the Gyrocopter. Nobody's dead on the Radiant just yet. They've got themselves a 12,000 net worth lead. But the Omni Slash lands onto the Viper. They'll get the Black Hole onto this Jug who just bought back. He needs to be careful trying to kill the Enigma. Ends up dying. They've lost him and the Bristleback. They don't have buybacks, and Bane and Viper do. Ulti from the Witch Doctor, doing a lot of damage, taking out the Aegis. And prod forward to kill the Visage. They don't have Jug, they don't have Bristleback. They use the ulti on the on the Witch Doctor. You should not be afraid of going in here. But the hook's hitting onto the Bane. The Black Hole comes out onto 2 once again, takes out the Death Prophet who's got buyback. Now kill the Witch Doctor, so only 2 heroes remain here for the Dire side. This should be it. One tier 4 down. A second one falls. The Ancient exposed. And the Ancient getting low and falling for a Radiant victory. Oh, is the coordinator down right now? I could just leave like that.